Spring arrives in the United Kingdom after the long, cold winter. During winter, the weather is often grey and cold. Trees have no leaves, and many gardens look empty and quiet. People stay inside their homes more often because it is cold outside. But when spring begins, everything slowly starts to change. The days become longer, and the sun begins to shine more often. The air feels fresh and cool. Little by little, nature wakes up again. Julie lives in a small town in the UK. She has a small house with a lovely garden behind it. Julie loves nature very much, especially in spring. During winter, Julie's garden looks brown and empty. The flowers are gone and the trees look bare. But Julie knows that when spring comes, her garden will become beautiful again. One morning in March, Julie wakes up early. She looks out of her bedroom window and notices something different. The sky is bright blue and the sun is shining softly. She sees small green leaves growing on the branches of the trees. In the grass, she notices bright yellow daffodils. Julie smiles and says quietly, "Spring is here." She quickly gets dressed and puts on a light jacket. Then she goes outside into her garden. The air is cool but pleasant, and the garden smells fresh. Birds are singing in the trees. Julie can hear their happy songs everywhere. Bees are already flying from flower to flower. Julie loves gardening, and spring is her favourite season to work in the garden. First, she looks around the garden carefully. There are still some dry leaves on the ground from winter. Some small weeds are growing between the plants. Julie takes a small rake and begins to clean the garden. She collects the old leaves and puts them into a garden bag. Then she pulls out the weeds so the flowers can grow better. After cleaning the garden, Julie brings out her gardening tools. She takes a small shovel and begins to dig the soil. The soil feels soft after the winter rain. Julie plans to plant many new flowers this spring. She has small packets of seeds for roses, tulips, and sunflowers. She also wants to grow some vegetables. She carefully plants tomato seeds, carrot seeds, and lettuce in the soil. After planting the seeds, she waters them gently with her watering can. While Julie is working in the garden, her neighbour, Mr. Brown, walks past the fence. "Good morning, Julie," he says with a friendly smile. "Good morning," Julie replies happily. Mr. Brown looks at the garden and says, "You are very busy today." Julie laughs and says, "Yes, spring is the best time to start gardening." Mr. Brown nods and says, "Your garden will look beautiful soon." Julie continues working in the garden for a few hours. She enjoys the warm sunshine and the fresh air. Over the next few weeks, Julie spends a little time in her garden every day. Sometimes she works in the morning and sometimes in the afternoon. Every day she waters the plants and checks the soil. Slowly, the garden begins to change. Small green plants start growing from the soil. The tulips grow taller and their colourful flowers begin to open. Red, yellow, pink and purple flowers appear all around the garden. The garden becomes full of life. Butterflies visit the flowers and rest on their petals. Bees fly from plant to plant collecting nectar. Julie feels very proud of her garden. In the afternoon, she often sits on a small wooden chair in the garden. She drinks a cup of tea and enjoys the warm spring sunshine. From her chair, she can see the flowers moving gently in the wind. She can hear birds singing in the trees nearby. Sometimes children from the neighbourhood play in the park near Julie's house. They laugh and run in the bright spring weather. People in the town also enjoy spring. Many families walk in the parks, some people ride bicycles, and others take their dogs for walks. The parks in the UK become very colourful in spring. There are flowers everywhere and the trees are full of fresh green leaves. One weekend, Julie invites her friend Emma to visit her garden. Emma walks into the garden and says, "Wow, your garden is beautiful." Julie smiles happily. They walk slowly around the garden and look at all the flowers. Emma smells a rose and says, "Spring is such a lovely season." Julie agrees. "Everything feels alive again," she says. As the weeks pass, Julie's vegetables also begin to grow. The tomato plants become bigger, and the lettuce leaves look fresh and green. Julie enjoys taking care of her plants. Gardening makes her feel calm and happy. For Julie, spring is not only about flowers and sunshine, it is also about new beginnings, fresh air, and spending time in nature. Every evening she looks at her garden and feels proud of her hard work. One evening, as the sun slowly sets, Julie sits quietly in her garden and looks at the colourful flowers around her. The birds are still singing softly, and the sky is warm and golden. Julie smiles and says, "Spring is truly the most beautiful time of the year."